So say we all. So say we all. So say we all. So say we all. Yes! Toronto. Second time I've been here. I was here in 2008, and it's taken me entirely too long to return. My apologies to all of you, but I'm here. As you can see, I've been up on the mountain. I built the lodge, I built the cabin. You gotta go back about 200,000 years and you might make it. No, one of my staff said that, well, you know, maybe if you met one of the locals there, you'd shave. She goes, obviously you haven't met one of the locals yet. Oh gosh, I gotta tell you, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm having a love fest here. Since the moment at 10 o'clock when I walked in, there were people waiting. How many of you came and got an autograph and talked to me and said hello? And I like to write, I like to talk, so if you haven't come over, just come on by. You don't have to buy anything, you just come on by. Okay, right away. This is about you. So we have two people with microphones. Raise your hands, okay? I'm gonna give you a number. Ready? Go. Whoever wants to ask me questions, just raise your hand. Who's for one? Right up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take 4 more. 7, 8. Are you on one? No. 8, 7, 7. I need 2 more. 8, 9, 1 more. Where were we? 10. Here we go. Okay, I'll get to, God willing, we'll get to more than that, but we're lucky if we can get through 10. I'll show you what I mean. I have a tendency to talk too much. So, did you find number 1? He's up on this corner. Did you guys watch when I was pointing him out? Okay. 1 through about 5 or 6 are on this side, for sure. 1, raise your hand. I gave you a number, raise it. Okay, you stand up, please. Number 1, please stand up. Get that microphone up to him, please. ASAP. This is the issue. We spent so much time. I spent 10 minutes sitting here. I said, why? What are we doing, guys? I mean, this is going to go by so fast that people are going to say, oh, I wish we had a little bit more time. I know. Question number 1. Name and ask a question.
My name's Wayip. I don't have an English name. Yep. I always love the father-son dynamic that you and Jamie Bamber's character on BSG shared, but I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't one more scene of that kind at the end of the show. Could you fix that for me in a small way?
Certainly.
Okay,
he went up to the top of Mount Everest. He took off. And he went, the chief went to Ireland. He went into that area. People spread out all over. We didn't have a way to tie a ribbon around this. It was just too immense. I wanted it to go for another 5 years. They were shaking to see if they could keep it going for the first 5, and they did a brilliant job. Ron Moore did an excellent job, and the writers were just magnificent. And I must say, to those of you that haven't spoken to me before, I will tell you, people have walked up and said, I love this show. I think it's the finest show I've ever seen, and I agree with them 1,000%. This is truly the best television show I've ever been a part of in my life. I've done a lot of work, and I've been very grateful for that work, but this was way beyond and beyond. Me and my son had a very strong relationship at the end. Very difficult at the beginning. He blamed me, as rightfully he should have, for the death of his brother. and we all knew that. And I love the very first scene we ever had when we see each other, and it's the first time. It was the first time I worked with Jamie, so it was really perfect. And he rose to the level of expectation, and I didn't give him a break. And it became the tension that drove the show for the first season between him and myself. And of course, the tension between me and Rosalind was overwhelming. Of course, I won. She thought she won. I said, no, honey, I won on this one. But yeah, no, it was, you know, to end it, it was impossible to tie everything off in a ribbon. You know, it was enough that we got the chance to really see the fact that between all of us, we just had to spread out. And that's how that's how you guys all got here. Come on, you guys didn't realize it. We are the reason that the population got here. If you ever get a chance, I say this a lot, if you ever get a chance, you know, at the very, okay, how many of you, this is a real interesting thing, okay? Be honest, how many of you have not seen the end of the show? Raise your hand, be honest. Okay.
Last week.
Can you believe sitting in here and not having seen the end of the show? I don't laugh at you. We are with you 1,000%. We're laughing at the fact that how in the world do you have the courage to come in here? Because this is such spoiler heaven. You're going to be like, there's some spoilers that are coming at you right at this moment that you have no idea, that you wish you would have never heard it. You wish you would have got to the end on your own. But there's too many people in here that have seen the end of the show, and I will tell you this much. When you reach the end of the show, and I will not spoil it for those people, when you get to the end of the show, Battlestar Galactica, and it goes to black, and the very last scene is done between ball turn number 6, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Put in Blade Runner. I guarantee you'll be so glad you did. Okay, question number 2. Right here. Pass the microphone right there to that lady. Young lady right there. Coming across. Number 3, where are you? Okay, 3 is right behind you. So 2, give 2 to her, and 3, where's my other mic? Where's the other microphone? Get over on this side. There's about 5 more on this side, then we'll come back to this side. So 4 and 5. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 on this side, 4 and 5 on this side. So give, actually, you know what, I made a big mistake. And then you wonder why I love you. You can give it to 4 over there. I'll give that one back to you, because 3's on behind her. Okay, go ahead with number 2, go ahead.
Hi, so...
Name?
Oh, hi, I'm Margaret.
Hi, Mark.
So season 4, especially the second half, was a little emotionally devastating, especially given your...
Yeah.
Especially given your terrible habit of making the viewer feel what Adama is feeling. So
It
I'm
was
just...
so hard. It was so hard. I gotta tell you, because I will say, go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, so I'm just dying to know, when all this horrible stuff was getting written, did Ron Moore ever just start laughing maniacally?
Every day. As he went to the bank. The guy was just in nirvana. You know, at the time we did this, you gotta remember, it was pretty much a situation where none of us had ever been through anything like this. Ron had, of course, done a lot of work. He had done a lot of work with Star Trek. He had done a lot of great work in his life. He was coming off of the Carney. That was a show that he was writing, and he was the lead writer on it. And what ended up happening was what we all experienced, which was something unexpected and totally revolutionary in the construct of science fiction, but more than that, of drama, human drama. The reason I say that is because I don't know how many of you saw in 2009 the presentation that we did at the UN. How many of you saw that? For those of you that didn't see it, go online and just put down Battlestar Galactica at the United Nations. Okay? And watch the 4-minute, 5-minute version, because it goes on for 3.5 hours. Now you laugh, but get a load of this. There's not one television show that's ever been brought into the UN, to the world, okay? Now we're talking about the United Nations, okay? The place was jam-packed, okay? And they brought us in there to discuss reconciliation on this planet right now in 2009, children in war, right to choose, right to life, suicide bombing, terrorism. That's what we discussed at the UN because of our show. They would show a 5-minute clip, and then the person, the executive director in charge of that precise understanding of, say, reconciliation, would speak for about 20 minutes, and then the whole world would be able to ask questions to us. Now, there's not one show that's ever been done that can honestly hold that position of being able to speak clearly about issues that affect every single human being, whether you be black, white, brown, yellow, or red, whether you be Muslim or Jew or Catholic, whether you be, Iranian or, African. No show, no West Wing, no NYPD Blue. I don't care what show you try to do it with, Lost, Breaking Bad. Can you get the entire planet to sit there and discuss with a sense of understanding that there is something being done at the moment off of a pop television show? That is what this really became the issue with this particular show. It became something that was way beyond anybody's wildest imagination. And I told the kids, I told everybody, including Ron, I said, I've been doing this for like 40-something years by the time I was doing the show. And this was 10 years ago. I'm going on 50 years of doing this stuff. I know, I look good, but I'm old. So I told him, I said, listen, I've never had this opportunity in my life. I don't think I'll ever get another one. I felt bad for Bambers and Calluses and Sackoffs and, Tamo, all of the beautiful, great young artists that were thrust into this. Because I said, you're going to be searching this for the rest of your life. I'm lucky, and I told Mike Hogan, I said, Hogan, and Mary, I said, we're lucky because we're cresting in our lives, in our careers. We've done a lot of work, and we've built ourselves up to this moment in time. We don't have that much longer to carry the strength of what we got from the show. They have to carry it for the duration of their life, and they're quite young. So, and granted, I said, you're going to find yourself in pieces of work that will really give you a great sense of satisfaction. But there will be nothing that will get close to what happened on this show. We grew to be way beyond a family, and we all became a family. Everyone that tuned in, and there's more of us coming. I mean, a lot of people that haven't finished the show here, the reason is because they started it within the last maybe 2 weeks. How many of you started like a week ago to see the show? Anybody? 2 weeks ago? I mean, somebody came up and said, I started like a month ago, and I got through 3 weeks of it. And I got through 3 seasons in about like 2 weeks. And I said, you have a long way to go, buddy. There was one woman that came in and she did it, every episode, including the movies, she did it in 4 days. That's the world record. Fred and those people at Portlandia thought they were really funny. They did it in 8 days. They went crazy and freaked out. But I hope I answered your question. Bless your heart.
Something much more amazing than my silly question.
Number 3, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Keith. I was wondering, are you going to be in Blade Runner 2?
Good question. We have to get Ridley here. Ask him. I'm not sure. I don't think so. There's been not even an inkling of an understanding of what it's about or anything. I heard just recently, like today or yesterday, that Harrison was going to be a part of it. I said, wow, that would be unusual. Because then I'm still chasing him. Because I'm the only Blade Runner in the original Blade Runner. Whether anybody wants to believe it or not, including him, he couldn't stand the fact that he was a replicant. I'm serious as a heart attack. I'm not kidding you. When Ridley put that little unicorn right in front of the elevator, it was all over for him. He had no idea what he was doing when he picked it up and looked at it. And he looked at her. And in the final, which is the last rendition of this movie, it goes to dark when the elevator door closes. Blink, that's it. And you see her on one side and he's left on the other side, and you realize, holy mackerel. Gaff knows his dreams. That means, whoa. So anyway, I don't know whether or not I will be a part of that. I would love to be. Who wouldn't want to join in and go forward on that? I think it is a sequel. It's not a prequel or a remake. I think it is going to be a continuing story. I don't know where they're going to take it, how they're going to take it, but it'll be interesting. And if Ridley and Harrison do work together, it'll be monumental. And I'll just go visit the set. Thank you for the question. Number 4.
Thank you. Yes. So most recently, I've been made aware of a lot of your social work, including Latino Literacy Now, the Latino Public Broadcasting, and even more recently, the American Graduate Day. So there's 2 parts to this. One, what draws you to these projects, for one? And 2, what do you see as the importance of public broadcasting today?
That is probably, I've never had that question given to me in this form, and I appreciate it. I really do. We normally never talk in this depth. But Latino public broadcasting, or public broadcasting, is really our broadcasting. It's money that we put in respects of I think we have it here too, maybe. I'm not sure. But our taxes go to the government. And we ask the government, okay, help us produce, using the network, television and radio, help us produce quality programming for us out of our tax dollar. That's what it's all about. So the Corporation of Public Broadcasting becomes and gets like $490 million a year, and they disperse it throughout the different channels and the different radio stations throughout the country. And they make, now we at Latino Public Broadcasting make, I think we get a little over $1 million to make projects. Now, I don't know if you guys know, that's like, it's like me saying to you, come on man, you can make, you can repair the clutch in your car, here's a dime. What the hell are you talking about? But anyway, we do the best we can, and we've done an extraordinary job. They're trying to cancel public broadcasting. The government is trying to take CPB down, and it's going to be the largest noise-making thing that they can try to do. They think that they're being very smart and saying, we're being efficient. No, you're not. You're being deficient. Our government in the United States of America, maybe here too, wastes more money and has created something that will destroy us, all of us, with their fiat money. Most of you don't understand what fiat is, but fiat money literally means money that's not backed by anything other than the government saying, that's our dollar. It has nothing behind it. There's no value to the piece of paper that we have in our pockets right now that we consider to be a $20 bill or a $5 bill or a 50-cent piece, other than our government. So when our government says, oh, excuse me, but I need a trillion more dollars, we're in debt, what do? They print a trillion more dollars and they hand it out. Oh, can you imagine being able to print your own money? Guess what? You're living it. Your government is doing exactly what you know in your mind is wrong. You cannot print your own money. Neither can our government. And we're doing it in the whole planet. We started doing it in 1972. And it hurts me because our children's children are going to get bombastically wiped out. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when the dollar collapses in the United States. I have no idea. Either do they. They went crazy in 2008 when, Morgan Stanley and all these idiots went bankrupt. I said, how can Lehman Brothers go bankrupt? AIG? Are you kidding me? How do you go bankrupt? Where's all the money? Where's all the money? Well, go look at the houses they live in. Look at their paychecks over the last 30 years, 40 years. Look at every banker. Have you noticed how many bankers have committed suicide in the last 8 months? Has anybody paid attention to that? Raise your hand if you have. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, people don't even realize it. Check it out. Go online after we're done. Google bankers that have committed suicide this year. You're going to run into 12 different bankers from all over the world have committed suicide. Over 600 managers of banks and presidents of banks have quit the banking system in the last year. Why do you think they're doing this? Guilt? Ooh. Or maybe they just want another kind of job. Whatever their feeling is, we're in trouble. And I say to all of us, I'm not going to give you an answer to it. I can't. But what I can do is alert you so that it doesn't catch you like deer in front of headlights. So when you hear it come, say, hey, the Admiral told us about this. We've been expecting this one. Doesn't mean there's going to be an answer for it, but they won't catch you by surprise. The only thing I ask of you is the same thing I tell all the people when I speak in seminars and lecture throughout the United States and around the world. I just say, don't become violent. Non-violent social disobedience is what you use. Gandhi rejected it. He understood it. So whatever they do to us as a government, when our world starts to collapse and they shut down all the banks, don't go crazy burning down your own city. Okay? Don't go crazy doing that. Jump out in the front of the seat and grab your friends and everybody. Sit down. When they all tell you, go inside your house, say, no, we're going to sit right here in front of our houses and say, what are you guys doing? We'll arrest you. Arrest us for sitting in front of our seats in our houses. Go ahead. I can't stop you from doing that, but you can't force me to go inside either. You have, martial law, but basically, guess what? It's done. You guys have to get yourselves together. We're not being violent. We're not being anything. We're sitting here to tell you right now. I have my children sitting here. I'm sitting here. You guys have placed us in a terrible position. We didn't make it happen. You guys did. And your police department, have you seen our police departments lately? So getting out the military, boom! It's terrible what's happening. And I don't mean to scare all of us. I mean to really inform you so that you won't be scared. Do not use violence to go against what is coming at us. It's not going to work. So just study Gandhi a lot and get ready for it, because basically something's coming. I don't know what it is, but something's coming. I mean, they can't just continue to print money, can they? Yes. I wish they could, but I don't think they can. I think sometimes something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. Next question, number 5. Go ahead. Can you imagine?
My name is Ricky. On behalf of my girlfriend and myself, I want to thank you very, very much for your role in Battlestar Galactica. You were absolutely amazing. You made me cry a couple times. And I think of myself as a big macho guy, so thank you to bring me down. If I can ask 2 questions really quickly. One, what was your favorite song or composement from Battlestar Galactica? Mine was All Along Watchtower, as it's a remade song. It fitted perfectly with the TV show. I just want to know what yours was. And 2, well, you portrayed many different roles in the show, as a father figure, as a leader. Oh, actually, I remember it now. Why they chose Battlestar Galactica, the way they chose it, like the ancient astronaut theory, whatnot. Do you feel it was perfect timing that it came out, as all the information right now is coming about with, stuff that's in ancient Egypt, even Atlantis, the stuff that's going on with the Bermuda Triangle? I'm not sure. What is your angle on that end? So those 2 questions, if you don't mind. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
My favorite song is the Rosalind and Dama theme. I thought that Barry did an extraordinary job on the entire situation. I thank Diva Pramal for turning us on to that style. I found her work and then turned it on to our very first editor, Danny, and she in turn, when she was doing the pilot, used Diva Pramal to inspire us. It's Gaelic chants, old mantras, ancient mantras, one is 5,000 years old, and brilliant pieces of work, and we used that, and then our composers, and from then on out, really infused that kind of feeling. Because if you remember, other than All Along the Watchtower, there was never any lyric that you understood with the things that were being sung, ever. And when words were being used, it was Gaelic, and it was ancient, script. And then now as far as the big question, which was like 5 in one space, which one of the ones do you want answered? What is the most?
Probably more about the ancient history stuff. So now we're learning, they have the TV show for ancient.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that the timing of the show was really superb, and it came because of 9/11. We were 13 months after that happened. Our consciousness as a planet had changed, and we really felt a sense of understanding of vulnerability, of our understanding as a unity, as humanity. When we watched the Twin Towers collapse, we were all completely blown away. And that mental state, then Ron Moore, when he was reimagining the show, was where he was at. And you could tell by the way he moved the show along that the present day situations and social pandemics that we were going through, he presented. So all I can tell you is that I think that, what a show. I mean, just the religious aspect alone blew me away. I said, you really have the Cylons with one God and us with a bunch of gods? Wow. Whoa, I said, yeah. Whoa. And then the big scene then for me was when Rosalind and I got into the whole situation of right to choose, right to life. There was like 49,000 people that we knew were still alive in our little ragtag fleet. And here was a girl from, Caprica, who 19 didn't want to bring her child into this world. So she was 19 years old. She was going to abort the baby. I said, I'm sorry. I know she has the right on your planet to do whatever she has the right to choose. Right to life. Some situation is hers. Sorry. It's out of her control now. She will have this child. And everybody must start to make babies. A lot of them. So like the Mormons, get out there! Make kids. So no, I mean, those issues were so striking. I mean, the first time I remember when Sakov did the waterboarding, and man, everybody went, whoa. And the first time that we were the ones who were doing the suicide bombing. You know, we were the humans who were suicide bombing against the Cylons. And it made sense. Everybody said, wow, gosh, all right, yeah. I can understand why they're doing that. All of a sudden it made you realize, holy mackerel, what are they talking about? In today's world, all those people are crazy. Oh, really? One man's terrorist is another man's hero. Is that how it goes? Whew. It's really difficult times we live in. And I was grateful for the show because it made everybody, it made this UN go crazy. I'm telling you, they invited us there. Can you imagine? I didn't know what we were doing there. I said, what are we here for? They go, we're speaking. I said, well, great. We're speaking about what? This is the UN, man. And Whoopi Goldberg was the moderator. Can you believe that? I said, wow, that's pretty heavy. It was pretty great. Okay, number 6, where are you? Right here. 7, where are you? Bring the microphone down here to 7. Go ahead, 6.
First, thank you so much for enlightening us all and spreading this important information. Not only did Battlestar Galactica deal with these issues and kind of continuing where Star Trek started and that kind of thing, it's so important to keep talking about it in this age of social networking where we're actually getting further apart from people, right? So it's important to talk about coming together, being community, and I thought, in the spirit of that, can I come and give you a hug?
Yeah. She did that to me in 2008 when I came. And you wonder why I rushed back. Okay, number 7, where are you? Go. Number 8, where are you?
Can I speak from here? I don't have a microphone, but they don't have a microphone here for us.
Oh, I'll give you the, we're moving very well. You'll be number 11, okay?
11.
Thank you. Okay, where's number 9? 8? You're 7, correct? Number 8, where are you? Raise your hand. Okay, 8's right there, so get the microphone over there. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, because you're such a dramatic actor, you have such gravitas in your voice and everything like that. Can you describe what it was like working on Portlandia and how that came about, and what it was like working in a comedy for once?
I love Portlandia. It was a monumental moment. I mean, it was perfect. Fred, beautiful. Associate there, man, they were phenomenal. And the whole idea was exactly what we were talking about. And the fact that Ron Moore was in there with us. Thank you. Ron Moore was in the, did you know that was Ron? Okay. A lot of people didn't know because they'd never really seen him, so they didn't know. Remember in Portland, how many of you saw it? Portlandia, okay. In Portlandia, it's myself, it's Callis, and then there's an actor from Portland that's sitting there with long hair kind of guy, sitting there reading like this. He's reading. And that's Ron Moore, the real one. And so then, of course, Ron Moore, that Portlandia found, is sitting there, and he's African-American, and with glasses. And of course, it was hysterical. I mean, we were improvising. Everything was improvised. There was no script. So everything you heard, like, you know, my favorite line of the whole thing is when I turn to him and I say, "I've never been in outer space." We all died. I mean, Fred went over the top also. I mean, it was really monumental. I love doing comedy. I do. I really started in comedy. I did a lot more theater. When I started in theater, we did a lot of comedy. We did a lot of drama too, but there was a lot of improvisational stuff, and we had a great time. And it's really fun because when you're really serious and it's situational and it's humorous, it's funny. It's really funny. I wasn't being a goofball, but at the same time, you know, it's extremely. I was very serious, and it was hysterical. And that's the kind of humor I like. Situational comedy is for me like fantastic. I'd do it all day long. We did it on Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. Do you remember that episode, number 9 of the first season? When Ellen comes home? And you know, she starts touching how many young kids are there? I think when Ellen's underneath the table and she puts her foot right there on Apollo's privates, and I told the cameraman, I said, put the camera right on Jamie. What? Yeah, get Jamie in the shot. What do you mean? I go, yeah, get Jamie in the shot. Okay. And then I told Ellen, without telling Jamie, under the table. And this was Kate's first scene. I just brought her onto the show. She had no idea who we were, and she not really understanding of it. She had seen the episodes, but she was like scared because, oh my God, I'm with all these people and they're great, and oh my God, she was so excited. So I said, do me a favor. Yeah, touch her. Put your foot right on them. Okay. I knew I had found the right Ellen boy. And then when I got him outside and I told Ellen, go up on the scaffolds and be hanging there. And then when the XO comes over, throw your legs around his head and pull him into you. Okay. She loved it. Oh God, she loved it. And so we all did. We all laughed like crazy. Oh boy. And that was situations. They were not being humorous. We had to be careful because they wanted to lighten up. At the 9th episode, they said we got the note from the tower saying it's too dark. You gotta put some humor in this thing. I said, oh my God, humor. I said, okay, but if you guys want humor, then I'm going to direct it. Okay, because basically it's very. Imagine getting somebody come in and say, okay, this is humor, this is funny, and here's the episode, and they start to make people do funny things. I said, oh my God, this is dangerous. Because you couldn't break through the reality of the show. I mean, we were still in this tension that was just gripping. And who was this woman? And here she came back it's the XO's wife. It was an amazing episode. If you remember back, it was just really, if you go back and see it, you'll see it's really quite striking. And the reason is because of the situations that the characters found themselves in. So yeah, I love Portlandia. That was a situational, comedy. And as is this was, number 9. It was Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. It was my first directorial on the show. So I really appreciated it. Okay, you're 7, 8. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Chris.
Where's 9? Microphone over here as soon as you get it from him. Go ahead.
I was wondering if there were any props that you managed to steal off the set.
Yeah. Believe me when I tell you, for all of us that are here, they wouldn't let us take anything. It was really quite interesting. They would not give us any kind of, things to remember. So we started stealing everything. We knew. I stole my uniforms, flight suit, and my uniform. They were what happened to them? I gave them in. I don't know. It's terrible, but it was really sad that they did that to us. I mean, they were trying to make their money back off of the stuff that were really memorabilia that to us was just incredibly. We had given them so much. Make another one. Whatever you want to do, but give us something. They wouldn't even give us like the clock on the wall. What's wrong with you guys? Sorry, no, it's ours. Okay, it's yours. Keep it. Make, $100, $150 in auction, whatever. Anyway, enough said. I buried myself already. 9, go ahead. 10, where are you? Okay, give them the microphone. Then when that one's done, it's got to run upstairs.
Cool. I'm Jeremy.
Ahead,
I know
Jeremy.
that you're involved in a great organization called Waterkeeper Alliance, and I was hoping to learn more about how you got involved and just what your thoughts are about preservation of water in the world, and especially in the American Southwest.
Yeah, I got involved. Friends of mine are, Bobby Kennedy and these people all created the Waterkeeper back on the Hudson, back 20-some odd years ago, to save the Hudson, because the Hudson was unswimmable. You couldn't even put your foot in it. You'd get something would happen to you. It'd turn green or something. And it was just ugly. The water had been polluted to the point where you couldn't even swim in it. So they cleaned it. It took them a long time, but that's where the Waterkeeper started, and now it's spread all over the world. And they're in 200 different countries where the Waterkeeper, where us, take care of our own waterways and water supplies and everything. And nobody gets paid. They're all volunteers. All the Waterkeepers are volunteers. And there's usually one or two people that kind of patrol the rivers. They have them here. They have great Waterkeepers here. And you guys are right on. We're in trouble. In our country, it's really bad. Because the whole idea, again, this is really kind of negative. What are you going to do? You ask the question. Don't ask me the question, I wouldn't have to give you the answer. You ask the question, I'll give you the answer. There are a lot of people, the 1% of the 1% on the planet, are buying all the natural resources, okay? And they're buying it at a rate that is overwhelming. Right now they own 40% of all the natural resources on the planet. You say, what are you talking about? What's the 1% of 1%? Check it out, all right? You'll find out. But anyway, they're buying water, the watersheds. Entire mountains they're getting and buying them. Soon, clean water will be costing you a fortune. And you'll have to pay for it. Now that's where I say, be careful that you don't use violence to try to get it back. Non-violent civil disobedience. That works. Like all of us turn around and say, oh yeah? Then you work. You do everything. We as a whole stop working, stop creating, stop giving you this whole world that you consider to be yours. We're going to sit around and hug our children, out in the forests somewhere. No, it's really pathetic what's happening. And if you really get into it, you can check out Karen Hudes, Hudes, Karen Hudes, who happens to be, for 21 years, the senior legal counsel for the World Bank. And in 2007, she turned whistleblower. You've heard nothing about her. There's a reason for it. Just look at what she's saying. Number 10. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Grant. Mr. Olmos, as an actor, a wonderful actor whose career has spanned many decades, is there any advice you can give to any of the aspiring actors here?
Yeah. Number 1, most important, don't stop. No matter what you're feeling, the insecurities, the whole feeling of how am I going to make a living, do what you have to do. I did what I had to do, to continue doing my art form. That doesn't mean you're going to be rich, you're going to be famous, but if you do it every day, 7 days a week, not 6, not 5, not 4, but you're disciplined to do yourself the things you love to do when you don't feel like doing it, you will become the best that you can be, artists. And guess what? Who knows how good that is? I didn't know that I was going to get to this level. I just kept on doing it. I didn't come out of my mother's womb saying, to be or not to be. When people say, you're so naturally talented, you're so naturally gifted, I say, stop for a second. Don't forget the thousands of hours that I've spent doing this. Tens of thousands of hours I did this. For nothing, free. So, God, if you're really an actor and you want to do this, do it. Continue to work and move towards it. Then all of a sudden, one day, when you least expect it, preparedness meets opportunity. And we call that luck. And you will become lucky. Where's my lady from the top? There you go. Just holler it out.
Yeah, can you hear me without a microphone?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. I have to yell, sorry everybody. First of all, I'm one of those people who kept watching Battlestar Galactica hours and hours and hours. I couldn't stop watching it until I finished watching it, and I want to watch it again. The importance of the show is extraordinary for the world, for what the tough guys need to look at. What I am most impressed with is the character that you created. The very needed character for this time. We are facing extraordinary problems that have to be confronted and resolved. But we have right here, right now, the basis for the best future ever. And that's where we are heading, and we have to contain them. Have to contain the problems and bring forth the value and the potential of everybody. And care for everybody, and care to not lose. Even the bad guys, they can be reformed. They can change their ways, willing or just because they have to adapt to the way the world goes. So what impressed me enormously in your character is the way you valued everybody that you dealt with. The way you gave second, third, and fifth chance to everybody, even to those who lied, betrayed, let you down. And you're still focused on their potential, and that's what we have to do with one another. You're looking at a limited number of people and what they're good for. We need this one because he's good at this, and we'll have to deal with the other things. So, and that's what we need to reach that beautiful future. You portrayed that so beautifully, with so much heart, with sorrow for those that you lost. I believe that that is the godly way that you portrayed there, and that's the way that will bring the future. When we cry if we lose somebody, where we cry if we are disappointed, but we still look at what can they do to redeem themselves and to be part of that beautiful future, because we do need everybody. You had 49,000, we have billions, and we do need everybody. I totally agree with your nonviolence, resistance.
Bless your heart. I have to cut you off by saying thank you. I'm going to cut you off by saying thank you so much for being the final speaker and saying what you just said, because basically it is the truth. It's a truth that has to be permeated. Yeah, we're in a great space right now. We're more understanding of ourselves than ever before. And we can either use that and let that reign, or allow the few that are taking us to another direction, making it very difficult for us to survive, and letting them triumph. And they will. I mean, because 7 billion plus people is too many. They cannot control all of us. So their idea is to make sure that we don't have 7 billion people on the planet. They would rather have like 3.5 billion people. They can control that. But that's the game. And it's very difficult, and you're right. We do need all of us to really come together and work. So on behalf of all of us here, God bless you. And thank you so much for everything you said.
And for all of you,
I will be sitting there. You can come and ask me anything you want to ask me. I'll be sitting there for the next 3 days.
I love you. So